Howdy everybody, here to do my monthly garden walk. This one's probably going to be shorter than most. Just wanted to start off showing off my tallest chestnut. Again, planted these this spring. I'm reaching as tall up as I can, and I can just barely get my fingertips up past it. So I don't know for sure if any of them are going to be putting out pollen or anything to produce fruit or technically nuts next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do it sooner than I anticipated. Walking up to the next one right here. I'm still thinking that if I can afford it next spring, I'm going to do a hazelnut and some kind of nitrogen fixer. I'm thinking maybe sea berries between every single one of them. This one's just starting to yellow, which if this was earlier in the year I might worry, but I mean, it's October. It's halfway through October. I can't be upset about it yellowing up. Honestly, I'm kind of worried that the others haven't yellowed up enough yet. But, yep, pull these out. I never realized they were kind of trapped in there, but, yep, let them get what sun they can. But, yeah, so there's the chestnuts doing their thing. I started with 100 this spring. It looks like the frost killed the growing tip on that one. For those not watching all of my videos, we did get a light frost. We got a little bit of a frost, but nothing too extreme. So a lot of the trees are just shrugging it off, but the really tender growing tips got fried on that one. Here we have another one here that's come out the top. Most of them have. So those have all grown really well. I'm going to make a cut and start off in the next part of the orchard. See you in a second. Alright everybody, part 2 of this video. Here's the earthworks that I shot a couple of shorts on. We've got some hazels that should be getting ready for sleep. It looks like they've got some buds and they're going to keep trying to grow, which I didn't really want, but lots of weeds coming up through here. This garden in particular was taken over pretty bad by thistle, so I'm going to be fighting thistle for years to come, I'm sure. But there's tulips all around the tree underneath the soil and mulch. There's a comfrey I transplanted in, and following this little French drain full of wood chips. Again, comfrey, hazel, tulips underneath all around. Big French drain, nice healthy comfrey. This was a shorter hazel. It's kind of packed in a little too tight, but it'll shoot out the top in spring, I'm sure. But here we have big water battery. I'm gonna fill up with water, and that's probably a 3 foot down of just wood chips, so that will make for a good spot for the water to soak in at, force the soil to take up the water. Behind me is a pretty weedy area, but I've tried to plant a couple things back here over the years. There's some asparagus and some elderberries that never really did well. I've heard there are new types of elderberries that do better in the Midwest. I'm excited to try those someday. Almost touched this here is a stinging nettle, almost got hit in the face with it. Stinging nettle's a super valuable plant. It's all dried up, but that's one of my sassafras. I really love sassafras. Oh, here we got some kitties. Gonna zoom you in. Yep. The one on the right we've trapped, fixed, and released already. Her name's Cleo, and then the one on the left is named Robin. She's younger. We have not managed to trap and release her yet, but as you can see, they're well fed. They don't trust me. They're ferals. They're wild, but you know, we do our best to take care of them. Anyhow, yep, there you go. You see, they don't let me anywhere near them, but right around back here, we've got another sassafras, pretty much gone to sleep. And that one over there is a sassafras too. Walking over this way, here's my trellis covered in hopness. The hopness is climbing the cold hardy almond even. So I've got a cold hardy almond here, which is just an almond crossed with a peach. So I'm told that you want to cook those almonds. You can't eat them raw, at least not in any major amount. But I hear mixed reports, so I'll probably just cook them. But look at how this hopness has just taken over this whole trellis. So big and happy. It's taken over the weeds all around it. Yep. All over the place. So I'm hoping to dig up the hopness in this area once the real heavy frosts hit, and transplant it all over different parts of the orchard. Another sunchoke. And it's not totally dead, but it's done flowering. There's the hollyhock. I can still spread some seeds off of it later when I feel like it, feel up to it. Right here is one of my wild plums, the American native wild plum. Right across is another one. And then next to that is a what's the word? A nanny berry. And then further down's a cold hardy pecan. Here we have a shagbark hickory. Though I recently researched the variety I got on that one. That one's apparently crossed with a pecan. I really hope that it gets the shagbark's signature shaggy bark. I planted it for the bark, not for the food. Bee balm. I believe this was purple rooster I got from Bluestone Perennials. Got a bean. Next to the bean was a, what's the word, currant. Here's that nannyberry viburnum, native viburnum. Of course, everything out here has to be juglone tolerant. Cold hardy pecan. Up there's another cold hardy pecan. Right there's one of my Japanese walnuts. Very tropical looking. Big sunchoke in the way, but behind it's another one. In between is a, what's that one called? Thornless honey locust. But these Japanese walnuts have produced pollen at the very least. I don't know about full seeds, but pollen 2 years in a row now. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, and I'm going to have to take the tree shield off of this, figure out why it grew two, and which one I'm going to trim. But yeah, that one's going to need a trim. But walking through here, the gourds, they got hit by that frost pretty bad. Gourds have no cold resistance. Still trying to flower down in the areas that didn't get hit, but any kind of flowers it makes now aren't going to mature. A little comfrey sprout, bigger comfrey, another gourd, a couple more gourds. There's a gourd that definitely didn't make it through the cold. Another one that won't make it through the cold. It's all rotting. But I'm hopeful that the gourds that are hidden in here are going to be nice and hard and good for water bottles and bird houses. They sound nice and hard. There's another one hidden in the weeds right in there. You can sort of see the stem that leads to it. But yeah, big Japanese walnuts. This one leaf, when it arrived, I was real disappointed in it. It was only that tall where my foot is. And it shot in like a month and a half straight up to the top where it could get sunlight. Put that big leaf out, put another leaf out, a little bit of a third leaf, and then it sat there all year. I'm guessing it was just desperate to get to the sun, and then it just relaxed, focused on its root, which I'm fine with. Hopefully next year it can double again or triple again like it did the first year. But that's an American persimmon, one of the few self-fertile varieties, so I don't need a male. Here we have another Japanese walnut. I have 4 of them. I'd like to buy at least 2 more. Right over here, another shagbark hickory. This was just a seedling, not a specific variety. You can see the leaves are starting to turn on it. It's never been all that healthy, but I'm happy to see it is at least alive. And walking over here, we have Bartnut, which is a Japanese walnut crossed with a American butternut. Got another one over there. And that post is a mulberry, a native plum, and a mulberry. Mulberries are some of my last planted things of this year. Right here's one of my chestnuts again. We're back into the chestnut orchard. Sorry for the bird excrement, but behind the bird excrement you can see there is a little baby chestnut down there. The place I ordered from gave me like 3 or 4 absolutely terrible looking little sprouts. I bought 100 trees, and at least 2 of them here were terrible. Quite a few more than that. I got maybe 6 of them that I wouldn't call anything more than a sprout. They were like that tall, but they're alive, so I planted them and did what I could for them. It looks like they've pretty much all made it till the start of the year. So yeah, so that's my my chestnuts covered, my walnuts covered, and there's a little woolly worm. So yeah, judging by him, he's got a dark head and a dark butt, but a really long brown body. So that should mean a mild winter, they say. So we'll see. I'm gonna make another cut and go through the last parts of the orchard. See you in a minute. All right, and here we are for the last part. Starting off at my pond. We put this in 2 years ago, I think. I've got American arrowroot or hopness or potato, and of course water lily. I was going to say pond lily, but a water lily technically. Comfrey double jewel peach. I bought a contender peach from One Green World, but they were sold out, so at no upcharge they gave me a higher end peach. I appreciate it. I hope it makes it. Comfrey up underneath this more mature apple. As I step into here, of course the sunchokes are all starting to die back. One of my 2 figs, it's starting to get figs on it, but there's no way those will mature this year. I'll still pinch the growing tip off. They say that helps the figs mature, but I can then just take this and feed it to another plant like that. That's what I always do with all my little cuttings. Volunteer tomato, volunteer strawberries all over. There's my liquid fertilizer, my swamp water that I showed you guys in one of my earliest videos. If you guys want to see, maybe another video on that, just let me know. Starting to look pretty good in there is my, I believe it's a vernal witch hazel, but it's a witch hazel. And then of course one of my cut leaf coneflowers. Do my best not to stomp on all of the strawberries as they grow through my pathways. Another sunchoke laying across my path. Gently push my way through it. Here we have the chrysanthemums from, this one was bluestone perennials. These are huge chrysanthemums. Some mint, some beets. Now I'll start walking this way. Another sunchoke. Let's see. Right in here we have my pluot and my pluary. I need them both close to pollinate each other. I should have given them more space, but I didn't because I don't know if they're going to make it. I've heard some people say they're very sensitive, and I'm not going to do the whole spray chemicals every year like you're supposed to with these trees. It looks all tired and wore out right now, but there's my cold hardy cactus, my eastern prickly pear. It's native to the Midwest, and if anybody's interested in having some, all those pads that have fallen off are perfect clones. I can just package up and ship you a pad if you just ask for it. We'll discuss how much you want to pay, and I'll ship it out. So there's an option. There's a sea berry, sea kale, as well as a couple other things. I think radishes. Lots and lots of tomatoes that survive the freeze. Big comfrey plants. And then the apples are starting to lose their leaves. Asparagus looking happy in here. Big tomato right there. whole lot of volunteer tomatoes popping up just about the time it's too late to get anything off them. Here's one of my big amaranth areas. I should probably come and harvest that so I have some amaranth to eat. Here we have avocado seedlings and strawberry runners underneath my contender peach. And behind the peach is one of those cut leaf cone flowers, or Soshan. Here we have a nice, I believe this was a yellow russet that I planted this spring. It was that big, that cut was the top of it when I put it in the ground. So it's grown double. And there's comfrey. Walking along, there's a bush cherry, asparagus. Right in there is a Arkansas black apple is what that was. Watermelon that got hit by the frost. Raspberry cane, as well as a little raspberry baby that's popped up. Some comfrey in there. Another contender peach. Some tomatoes, some have survived frost. Another big happy comfrey plant. And this tree I believe is this is a chestnut crab apple. I was recommended it as a dessert crab. It's supposed to be very sweet, sort of a Macintosh or smaller sized apple. Great pollinator, very beautiful tree, but there's another Arkansas black apple. I bought a lot of Arkansas blacks because I'm told they're very pest resistant. We have a lot of pest issues. Here we have one of my raspberries from Indiana Berry. I'm not affiliated in any way with any of the companies that I got these plants from, but Indiana Berry's raspberries tend to be very healthy here. And these are all clones. I'm not propagating or doing anything like that. These just pop up on their own. Really good raspberry. I wish I remember what variety that one was. I could look it up if I get questions. But right here, again, that's how tall it was to start with. And it's all the way up here now. This is my Odisso Red Love. My wife got me that one as a Valentine's Day gift. Lots of potatoes still thriving around it, an avocado in the middle. Lots of comfrey, bee balm. Lots of raspberries. More comfrey, more bee balm. This is a green gage I bought for my wife. It flowered on its first year, but not its second. And so next spring will be its third year. I'm hoping that it will produce well then. Here we have a Ponca blackberry. It was something my wife picked because it's supposed to be one of the sweetest. It's pretty good. Moving on. Have this huge comfrey plant. I don't know how this one grew so much better than all the others, but it's right up against this medlar tree. So once it dies back, this medlar will get a ton of nutrients deposited right on the surface from all those leaves. So it should have a good start for next spring. Really excited for my medlar. Right there is a horehound. Good cough medicine plant, good for a couple other things. Big asparagus, bushy asparagus. Radishes again. Right next to that corn cob, that little bit of green is a, Rosa Sharon. Starting back up over this way, we've got more Soshan or cut leaf coneflower. We've got Eastern bee balm or Eastern bergamot. Aronia berry. Over there, I believe this is a Mount Royal plum. And this is where we harvested those potatoes in a recent video while the sunlight was running away from me. Coming back through here, a bunch of sweet potatoes. Probably need to start digging them up. Another aronia. And here, I talked to you guys before about aronia berries will hang on to the plant well into winter. Those are just some dried out, old, wrinkly aronias. So you could eat those all winter if you need to. There's not much sugar in them, but they're good antioxidants. Or you could pick them now, clean them, and make sure they dry real thoroughly. And you could keep them all through winter to make teas to get yourself some vitamins and minerals you'd need. More potatoes around here. Lots of potatoes. Another aronia. Here we have a river locust. And on the other side of it, another aronia. Some more asparagus. Some columbines. Ground cherry that got hit by the frost, but hopefully it'll drop seeds. We got lots out here. I could keep going for a while longer, but it's getting to be a long video and things are starting to go to sleep. Another variegated rose of Sharon, got from a local nursery. Got a blueberry right there. Another green gage. More radishes. Strawberries and tomatoes all over the place with a cherry in the middle. Most of my cherries really aren't doing well. I don't know why. Sunchokes. We've got all sorts of stuff in through here. Got a potato that's a volunteer. We've got a geranium down there. Ground cherry up there. Strawberries running through. Asparagus. Comfrey, of course. Yarrow. That one's a red yarrow. Just all over the place. Lots of life. I think the last thing I'll show you guys, if I can reach it efficiently, are some of the gourds over here. I just love the gourds. Yep, little bitty pear-shaped gourd. And then if I can step through and over the gourd stem, there's a nice medium-sized gourd right there. So hope you guys enjoyed the garden walk. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys were able to enjoy how things have changed throughout the season. I will see you all in a future video. And again, if you have any ideas on what you want to see me come up with next, what you want to see me grow or talk about or plan, anything for a video, you guys let me know, because the season's coming to an end and I won't have anything to do for a long time. Wow, look at that radish. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna have to harvest that. You can see how extremely hard our ground here is. It hit the ground and it just started spiraling and pushing up. Couldn't do a thing to actually drive itself deeper. But yep, there we go. I'll have my first daikon out of my garden to try. Well, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. And I'll see you in the next video as soon as I can. Goodbye, everybody.